If I were to ask you what the worst weapon in Fallout 3 is, a lot of you might say the BB gun, the kitchen knife, or maybe even the Chinese pistol after seeing my previous challenge run. While those are all perfectly acceptable answers, especially if you don't happen to own any of the DLC, there is one weapon placed in the game as a joke that sucks even harder than the local Asian massage parlor. Can you beat Fallout 3 using only the toy knife? Since I'm so unbelievably creative, I named myself Jason. I built a pretty straightforward melee character focused on strength, with no perception and otherwise slightly above average stats. The robot ruined my cake, which according to the Fallout cookbook requires over 20 potentially expensive ingredients, so we'll see if I ever make it. I tried something seen in a few videos, learning that Dad does indeed have an unlimited supply of BBs. Where they come from, well, that's just an eternal mystery. Oh, and I killed the rad roach and explained the reasoning for this in the previous Fallout 3 challenge run. I decided that, going along with the slasher villain persona, I would be playing through as an evil character, beginning by making a teenage girl even more insecure than normal. I skipped the goat, worried about an old glitch where it soft locks the game, and picked melee, speech, and sneak as my tag skills. I gave Butch death by Radroach syndrome, saved Amata from a potentially bad porno, locked the guards out of the Overseer's office, got shot by the other guards, and escaped the vault. Oh, and I found a scoped 44 Magnum in a safe 200 feet away from the vault. So now I'm going to explain a little about this run. The toy knife is a unique weapon only found in Point Lookout. This means we can't attack anything until we get to Point Lookout. Thankfully, unlike the other DLCs, we can actually come and go from Point Lookout at any time, but it costs money. In Megaton, I insulted Sim's hat, honestly wonder if Moira actually believed my ambassador comment, started her quest, drank some of Flint's water supply, agreed to wipe Megaton off the map, and arrived at the Super Duper Mart. I stole everything I could to start saving caps for my trip to Point Lookout, sold stuff to Grandma's Sparkle Muffin, had my leg blown off, and after a bit of swimming, I arrived at the riverboat landing, marking it for later. I arrived at Rivet City to trade with flak and/or shrapnel, talked to Madison about where Dad might have gone, returned to Megaton for more trading, robbed Megaton's douchebag doctor, and I set off to explore more of the wasteland. I completed the minefield portion of Wasteland Survival Guide, earned some sellable rewards from Moira, and reached level 3, 1 point short of the necessary explosive skill, until I took a perk. Upon arriving at the Anchorage War Memorial, a mortar or something went off over my head and irradiated the area. I'm still not entirely sure what happened. Looking back in editing, I'm honestly wondering if it may have been the event that spawns the Firelance Alien Blaster. I helped Moira spy on the Mirelurks, got a reward, got a non-crippling injury, and reached the end of what I can do on Moira's questline. I had hoped I could finally go to Point Lookout. Turns out, I severely underestimated the ticket price. Even without microtransactions, Todd Howard punishes me with a pay-to-win system in a 12-year-old game. Needing more caps, I began heading to Tenpenny Towers, discovering Fort Independence along the way. At Tenpenny Towers, I talked to the guard about his mother, then detonated the bomb, setting off the largest fireworks display I've seen since last New Year's. Also, I got my own suite. I always forget how nice this one is, as I haven't done an evil playthrough in a number of years. With the reward money, I finally had the resources needed for a round-trip ticket to the land of irradiated swamps and fruit-drug hybrids. After arriving in Point Lookout, I set a marker for the approximate location of our new weapon. I surprisingly placed the marker pretty well, and picked up my new toy. I killed a swamp ghoul quite easily with it. Then I fought another one, and the knife broke. After managing to run away, I returned to GameStop to overpay on a possibly used ticket home. Back in DC, I had my knife and mask repaired for just 37 caps. I then decided it was time to test the knife out on some real enemies. So let's talk about the toy knife for a moment. It is truly horrendous. Statistically speaking, it's the worst weapon in the game. It does the least amount of damage of any weapon, it has the lowest durability. It also can't be repaired with other weapons, only by vendors. Given the damn thing breaks in about 100 swings, this means that every couple kills I have to drop what I'm doing, leave the area, go get it repaired, and repeat. Anyway, With Dad's notes, I began the journey to Smith Casey's garage. After reaching the garage, I beat some poor mole rats to death and entered a portal to Chalk Zone. In the virtual world, I decided to play Betty's game, beginning by telling Timmy that he was adopted or something. Mr. Rockwell didn't care about what I had to say, so I ruined his marriage, or sex life, or possibly both. I don't really care. The next task is a bit more complicated, as I had to commit a creative form of murder. Since doing this myself would void the challenge, I attempted to reprogram the Henderson robot. When that predictably didn't work out, I resorted to the Kenny option, dropping a chandelier about 3 feet onto her head and killing her. The last task is to don the mask of the pint-sized slasher and kill everyone in Tranquility Lane, so I followed orders. Let me explain why. First of all, we're doing an evil karma run of the game. This is at least 60% evil, so I think it counts. Secondly, if you want to get through this quest quickly and easily, you just go with the failsafe option, so you can always do that in any weapon-specific challenge. Finally, the possibly Prima strategy guide I own, but couldn't find while editing, I specifically remember it stating that a special version of the toy knife with a much greater set of statistics exists in Tranquility Lane. Therefore, I say this does not void the challenge. If it does, go bitch at the person that wrote the guide and not me. With the simulation escaped, we returned to Rivet City and agreed to play Edward Stabby Hands with the remaining Project Purity mutants. This section was relatively tolerable, aside from having to return to Rivet City to repair my possibly plastic toy after every kill, or almost every kill. After killing the last mutant and leveling up, Dad almost praised me for my dedication to cleaning up the wasteland of unwanted radiation settlements. Can anyone explain to me how swinging a fake knife at a suit of power armor actually does any damage? I'm pretty sure you could pop a Cialis and whip him with an enlarged meat saber for 4 hours and do more damage in real life. Dad was raptured by Adam. I made Madison risk her useless life to open a door, got her to leave deadweight Garza behind, took a break from combat to stuff myself on the couch, and then remembered something. In Fallout 3, you are actually invincible while attacking in bats. How I forgot about this until now, I have no idea. I guess an IQ of 175, not my real IQ, means nothing in this situation. Upon leaving the sewers, we were attacked by a raider. I'm tired of doing the work of 4 people. I did that enough in high school, damn it. Do your own projects for all I care. After a quick chat with the Elder and some Rivet City trading, I returned to my new home and ended the first stream. I began the second stream by learning that Vault 87 exists. I did a little trading, then fast traveled over to Smith Casey's garage. During a skirmish with mole rats, a wandering scavenger accidentally wounded me in the process. He turned hostile, then suddenly wasn't. I've seen this glitch before. After 3 minutes of walking, I found Kid Nation Season 2, which sadly never happened. Once inside the cave, things went beyond weird. I made a backup save so I could speech check my way in no matter what. Instead, Mayor r/entitled kid walked down and opened the door. I walked through. Since Bethesda games are known for being completely bug-free, I can only assume I did something wrong to trigger this response. Sadly, it seems I completely broke the game, as the opening of the door must have taken me to an alternative universe where I could no longer equip or draw my weapon or even open certain doors. So, after a lot of nonsensical babbling to my audience, I reloaded the previous save. Upon reloading, I passed the speech check first try and began the journey through Murder Pass. I knew I had to be careful in this section, since we have to get all the way through Vault 87 and then Raven Rock without access to a shop. I had to really keep the weapons usage to a minimum. Stealth kind of works. I was thankfully able to evade a brute near the vault entrance to maintain the durability of the knife. I spent God knows how long playing hide and seek in the vault bathrooms to try and avoid combat. I don't usually do stealth-heavy runs, so I'm not exactly good at it, and it really showed here. There was no chance in hell I was going to do the rest of the vault alone, knowing I would need my knife more in Raven Rock. So despite the positive karma boost, I freed Fawkes and let him do all the work. Fawkes brought me a new toy from Toys R Us. Then, the local neighborhood bully decided to steal it. Since this playthrough was going so well, Daddy Todd Howard issued one of his famous punishments by making the game not only crash, but boot me to the XMB. I'm sorry, Daddy, I'll be good, don't do it again. After getting back into the game, with a melee skill of 75, I began the escape from Raven Rock. I murdered a traitorous scientist that I forgot was in the game. I used my footage of actually killing 2 Enclave for the intro to this video, so here are some robots doing most of the hard work instead. I accidentally convinced the president to destroy Raven Rock, didn't kill any of the Enclave on my path, that was a lie, I actually did finish one of them off, and made my escape. I went back to Rivet City for one final round of trading and repairs, gave up the FEV because I plan on coming back to this save file at some point, got some power armor, and began the final battle. After 10 minutes of following Liberty Prime, I tried to help and got either a laser or mini nuke in the groin for it. With Jet, Psycho, Buffout, and Mentats coursing through my veins, Sarah and I managed to kill all the remaining Enclave defenders. Well, actually Sarah did most of it, but I was there. I still get credit for completing the project, right? In the final room, I told Autumn that he was about to die, then beat him and his Tesla-armored pals to death with a toy knife. What a sad way to go out. That was a literal lifesaver here yet again. So glad I remembered how helpful it was here. Sarah so graciously volunteered to sacrifice herself to activate the purifier. We were enveloped in a white light, and I actually beat Fallout 3 using only the toy knife. To my surprise, this run wasn't as difficult as I was expecting. While the toy knife does suck for sure, it doesn't require ammo like terrible guns from other Fallout runs, and you can exploit the invincibility in VATS to preserve health. Aside from actually getting to the knife and having to repair it every other kill, this really could have been a lot worse. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again for more challenges in the future.